I didn't know that that was happening.
Hand in hand, very often. Like if we're not walking hand in hand, we'll find each other somewhere.
Some stories don't go viral because of a scandal. Some go viral because the internet sees a 2-second clip and decides there must be a conspiracy behind it. That's exactly what happened with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. Two women just doing a press tour, smiling for cameras, trying to survive the chaos of a blockbuster rollout.
If like kids can feel that, then
Yeah. That's the point.
But the internet didn't see two co-stars promoting a movie. It saw tension, it saw protectiveness, it saw something off. And once TikTok got a hold of those clips, the narrative took on a life of its own. It started with one video, a split-second moment where Ariana was answering a question and Cynthia stood just a little too close, eyes fixed on her, body angled like she was ready to step in if anything went left. People paused, they zoomed in, they ran it back slow, like they were analyzing security footage. And instead of saying, "Oh, they're close," the internet said, "Hold on, why does Cynthia look like Ariana's full-time bodyguard?" That's all it took. One clip, one strange angle, one moment where someone's protective instinct showed a little too clearly. And suddenly, the internet was convinced something deeper was happening, something emotional, something secretive, something that needed decoding. Because people didn't just watch those clips.
She's very patient with me.
Likewise. I think we're both... Ooh, don't look at me like that.
They built theories around them like this was a Netflix mystery series. But the thing that really turned this from a cute moment into a global debate wasn't the protectiveness itself. It was what people did with it. The jokes, the memes, the stereotyping, and eventually the backlash. A backlash so intense that even SZA stepped in to say, "No, this isn't harmless, this is misogynoir." But before the discourse, before the think pieces, before the celebrities chimed in, there were just two women standing next to each other at a premiere, and the world deciding what their relationship must mean. And the deeper you go into this story, the more you realize this isn't about Cynthia and Ariana at all. It's about the internet, it's about perception, it's about bias, and it's about how fast a woman, especially a black woman, can get turned into a caricature just for existing in the wrong frame. So let's go back to where it started. The first viral clip wasn't dramatic. Ariana wasn't crying. Cynthia wasn't yelling. Nobody was arguing or making a scene. It was subtle. Ariana reaching for a drink, fumbling a little with the lid, and Cynthia instantly leaning in, eyes locked, like she was ready to help before Ariana even asked. It looked sweet, like something a close friend or big sister would do. But people on TikTok looked at that same moment and said, "Why is Cynthia watching her like a hawk?"
Love how protective Cynthia Erivo has been over Ariana Grande during this press tour. As you guys can see, she is 2 seconds away from going after that water bottle that Ariana Grande was struggling to open.
Then another clip dropped. An interviewer touched Ariana's hand in a playful, harmless way, and Cynthia immediately reached in and pulled Ariana's hand back. Not aggressive, not forceful, just a quick instinctive move, but the internet turned it into a meme. Don't touch her, don't breathe near her, don't even exist near her.
So great, that joy he wanted to infuse in every frame, so that when you experience the film, with all the tears and everything else, you feel the joy in every single.
Then came the red carpet moment, the one that should have ended all the jokes. A man rushed up way too fast, crossing into Ariana's space, and Cynthia moved instantly, stepping between him and Ariana before security even registered what was happening. She didn't overreact. She didn't shove anyone. She simply acted faster than the people paid to protect Ariana. That clip should have been the moment people said, "Okay, Cynthia's just protective. That's a real friend." But the internet isn't reasonable. The internet is creative, and sometimes creativity becomes cruelty, because instead of respecting how quick Cynthia reacted, people turned it into content. And once the jokes started, they didn't stop. Memes began circulating showing Cynthia as a gigantic, masculine, muscle-bound figure towering over little, fragile Ariana. People drew comics with Cynthia holding Ariana like a baby.
A few people have come out and said that these memes aren't just harmless jokes, but are actually offensive and are towing the lines of microaggression.
Skit creators reenacted the dynamic by casting a huge man to play Cynthia and a tiny girl to play Ariana. People copy-pasted Cynthia's face onto bodyguard memes. Every TikTok comment became some variation of, "She's acting like a jealous girlfriend," or "Cynthia is giving stud bodyguard energy." Even people who found the videos funny could feel something wasn't right. The jokes weren't just "Cynthia is protective," they started being "Cynthia looks like a man," "Cynthia is too masculine," "Ariana looks delicate," and "Cynthia looks scary." Never mind that Cynthia and Ariana are almost the same height. Never mind that Cynthia is petite, glamorous, feminine, and stylish. Never mind that Cynthia was literally protecting Ariana from danger. The internet decided on a narrative, and it was one they've used on black women for decades. Suddenly, people weren't laughing at the protectiveness, they were laughing at Cynthia's appearance. Her shaved head, her intensity, her posture, her dark skin, her confidence. And the subtext wasn't subtle. The internet was once again more comfortable sexualizing Ariana as a tiny, soft white princess, while turning a black woman into a masculine protector trope. The same thing people praise in male co-stars, caring, defending, watching out, becomes aggressive, obsessive, or unnatural when a black woman does it. That's when creators started pushing back, but the conversation didn't really explode until one clip, one reel from a creator called The Film Diva, caught fire. She didn't rant, she didn't scream, she quietly explained why the jokes weren't just jokes.
But some of the ones that I'm seeing online, it's not right. I know, and the amount of likes and comments that are on these videos.
Why the memes weren't just memes. Why the whole dynamic revealed something bigger about the way people see black women. And that's when SZA stepped in. SZA didn't give a dissertation. She didn't need to. She left one comment that said everything. "You're not bugging. It's classic misogynoir. No explanation, no sugarcoating, just the truth." Because this wasn't a conversation about two celebrities anymore. It had turned into something uglier, a collective willingness to strip Cynthia of femininity, softness, and humanity just because she didn't fit a narrow aesthetic mold. The energy wasn't "Cynthia is being weird." It was "we're uncomfortable with a black woman showing tenderness." And the moment SZA named it, the entire internet shifted. Suddenly, people went from laughing to thinking, from joking to questioning, from making light of the memes to realizing what they were participating in. But while everyone was arguing online,
Fully ran up to her, hand on chest, then put his arm around her, and Cynthia Erivo was not having it. She was in there ready to kill. Okay? She said, "Not my girl, you're not."
someone else was watching quietly, someone who is directly tied to Cynthia, someone whose silence had started becoming its own conversation, Ariana Grande. And Ariana didn't jump in with a speech or a notes app essay. She didn't defend Cynthia publicly in a headline-making post, but she did do something that TMZ doesn't know how to write about. She hit like on the reel, calling out the misogynoir. And that tiny gesture meant more than 1,000 paragraphs. To casual viewers, it was small, meaningless. But fans knew exactly what it meant. Ariana saw the discourse. She agreed with the message. And she didn't think Cynthia deserved the jokes. Still, for some people, that wasn't enough. Fans started arguing, "Cynthia protects you publicly. Why not defend her publicly too? A like isn't a statement. Ariana needs to take a stand."
I do. I am very. I channel a lot of energy through my hands.
But others saw it differently. Ariana is in the middle of constant scrutiny. Her weight, her face, her relationship, her voice, her every move. Sometimes saying more feeds the chaos instead of fixing it. Sometimes silence is strategy. Sometimes support happens behind the scenes where cameras can't twist it. Either way, Ariana's made something very clear. She doesn't agree with the way Cynthia's being treated. But if the internet is going to drag Cynthia for being protective, maybe we should ask the obvious question nobody wants to consider. What if Cynthia is acting like this because she has to? Imagine being a black woman in Hollywood, carrying one of the most iconic roles in musical theatre history on your back, a role people said you didn't deserve, couldn't play, shouldn't touch. Imagine standing next to one of the most famous women on the planet who has been stalked, rushed, grabbed, mobbed, criticised, and body shamed since she was a teenager.
I'm glad I've come to it now, though. I'm glad that I've had a journey to it because I feel like I can own it.
Now add the chaos of a global press tour, fans pushing barricades, grown men leaning too close during interviews, cell phones inches from faces, security distracted, crowds overwhelming. If you cared about your co-star, wouldn't you watch her too? Wouldn't you step in if someone crossed the line? Wouldn't you lean in just a little closer when she looked anxious? Cynthia isn't acting like a jealous partner. She's acting like a woman who knows how quickly things can go wrong in public. She's seen the chaos, she's seen the crowds, she's seen Ariana get overwhelmed, she's seen security miss the signs. So she stepped up, not loudly, not dramatically, not forcefully, just consistently. And instead of saying, wow, that's real care, the internet decided she must be obsessed. The truth is, Cynthia's protectiveness only looks weird.
Hand in hand, very often. Like if we're not walking hand in hand, we'll find each other somewhere. I think we assume that physical connection can only be romantic.
If you ignore the reality of celebrity life, especially for someone like Ariana, who has been through very public trauma in the past, and if you watch the full videos instead of the cherry-picked clips, it becomes obvious. Cynthia isn't hovering for control. She's reading the room in ways other people aren't. But the reason this story went viral, the reason it spiraled into something way bigger than two co-stars, is because it exposed something uncomfortable. We don't give black women the same emotional bandwidth we give everyone else. A white co-star being protective is sweet. A male co-star being protective is sexy. A black female co-star being protective is intense, masculine, or territorial. That double standard is the foundation of this entire mess. And SZA wasn't wrong when she said people will look back on this in a few years and feel embarrassed. Because the internet clowning a black woman for showing tenderness is not the flex people think it is. By the time the memes died down and the discourse calmed, one thing became clear. This was never about Ariana's safety. This was never about Cynthia being overbearing. This was never about shipping or PR stunts or hidden romance. This was about perception. Two women did their job. One of them showed softness in a way that didn't fit the internet's stereotype of what softness is supposed to look like. And the world reacted. Some laughed, some dragged, some defended, some reflected.
If I say this is propaganda for the masculinization of black women, am I gonna be wrong? Like, Cynthia, you was all a 105, if that. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real generous with 5.
But Cynthia kept doing what she always did, staying close, staying observant, staying grounded. And Ariana kept doing what she always did, trusting the people around her to know when she needs support. Because at the end of the day, whatever their bond is, friendship, sisterhood, co-star closeness, it's theirs. Not the internet's to dissect, not TikTok's to meme, not Twitter's to weaponize. And maybe that's what people are missing. Not every tender moment is a scandal. Not every protective instinct is a conspiracy. And not every black woman stepping into a moment needs to be turned into a masculine protector joke. Sometimes the story isn't the rumor. Sometimes the story isn't the theory. Sometimes the story isn't the viral clip. Sometimes the story is what the reaction reveals. And this reaction revealed a lot. It revealed how fast people judge when they don't understand. It revealed how quickly stereotypes get recycled as humor. It revealed how easy it is to miss the humanity of someone who doesn't fit neatly into your idea of femininity. So the next time you see a clip of Cynthia leaning in, adjusting Ariana's hair, blocking a stranger's hand, or simply standing a little too close, maybe ask yourself, are you uncomfortable because of what Cynthia is doing, or are you uncomfortable because of who Cynthia is while she's doing it? Because sometimes the truth isn't in the clip, it's in the comment section. Let me know what you think down below. Is Cynthia simply being a ride-or-die friend, a co-star reading the room, or is the internet projecting something much bigger onto this dynamic? Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.